What's that? Both. They're neighbors. Don't worry, next week we're going to talk about police officers. Alright, your next comic on the stage. Please put your hands together for Rose.
So, as a gift for you calling me a comedian, I'm going to let you know that it's actually good in Sacramento to be single as fuck, because I found out from another comedian that 1 in 5 people in Sacramento have BD because no one uses condoms in this town. So I have not been so grateful that I haven't had sex since January 1st, 2020, until I heard that.
Wow.
Super.
So yesterday, I actually was at work and I saw something I never should have seen. They showed me a video of the vice president of our corporation, and he was on a catwalk in hot pants, getting dollar bills stuffed into the hot pants in the back right here. And I knew in that moment, I knew 2 things. Number 1, I'm a fucking prude. And number 2, this is definitely a corporation where I'm going to be successful at my career ladder climbing. Yeah, I'm probably going to need in-house therapy though, because after that, he took his glasses off and threw them in the crowd, and I started wondering what's going to come off next. But speaking of things coming off next, so a couple years ago, I actually drove up to Montana for a wedding, and on my way back down, I stopped at the same rest area in Oregon that I had stopped at on the way up. And while I was at the rest area, I saw this hubcap on the grass, and I'm like, oh shit, that hubcap looks just like it would be on my car. And I get back to Sacramento, and I fucking realized that was my hubcap! So I drove around with 3 hubcaps for 2 years, and then just yesterday, I get to work and I realize, fucking lost another hubcap. I have 2 on one side and none on the other. So I'm wondering, like, how do you not notice losing a hubcap? And I realized, well, maybe that moment in the morning traffic where I looked behind me and there were no cars, it was because they were slowed by a hubcap. Sorry. Just wrote this yesterday. Slowed by a hubcap pile-up fucking disaster. like this joke became a disaster on the punchline. But dating can be a disaster too. I don't even have a dating website because I get so many direct messages on Instagram and Twitter that I don't actually need a dating website to be spammed and scammed. But so I finally gave in and wrote no DMs on my descriptions, and the reason why is because, well, it's not going to stop people from DMing you, but it does give you a right to ghost them. Because I keep getting the same 3 fucking questions from dudes. Are you married? Which is a legit question. Is your job stressing you out? And have you eaten today? I don't know what relationship coach is telling men that they should ask women if their job is stressing them out and if they've eaten today. But I'm thinking he should lose his relationship coach license and maybe his YouTube status. I'm basically starting to miss dick pics at this point. So I actually do like little dicks. And I'm also very discreet about who I date, so if you do end up with me, then your secret is safe with me. I actually recently had a guy ask me, well, what's too big? What size is too big? And I had to think about it for a really long time before I could answer him. And I said, well, that's actually a vagina-determined situation, but if it takes 15 minutes to break in, you're too big. This goes for both length and width. It's going to be a 2-factor authorization. So, I just started doing comedy when after I turned 40, because by the time you're my age, you laugh at all your own jokes, and you don't care if the audience laughs. So, basically, I waited till I was a narcissist. And I really actually used to do jokes during karaoke because I always choose karaoke songs with really long intros, and the audience fucking hate that. So I would tell jokes to quell them until the singing part. But in 2020, I couldn't do karaoke anymore, so I started going to the live streams of comedians on YouTube. And I noticed not only could I get the attention of all the chatters, but I could actually get the attention of the comedians themselves. And I was like, this is fucking great. I'm going to be a comedian and make them laugh. But it turns out that I'm actually the world's greatest heckler, and I should get the world record. Because there was one comedian who was very staunch about abolish the police or reform the police, depending on the police station. And I heckled him so hard that he threatened to call the cops on me. So I thought, well, this is a really good item for my bucket list. Because you see, I'm really good at accomplishing my goals. I always put something on my bucket list and it comes off really quickly because I get things done. And so I thought, well, I know something I can put on my bucket list that won't come off for a while. I'll put date a comedian on there. Everyone knows comedians are single. So, comedians don't like that joke. So I actually had a little bit of experience with this because I did try to date a comedian, but and he also is a surfer. It didn't work out though because he had no sense of humor. So I finally had to tell him, look, if you don't like my jokes, you ain't my folks. And so after we went no contact, I started surfing. Not because I thought it was going to win him back, but because you can't have a man take his sport. And his job. So I also tried to date a cop in 2020. I met him at a Black Lives Matter protest, and it was going really well. I couldn't believe it. He was so open-minded and conscientious. He would watch all the videos on why to abolish the police with me, and he'd watch all the videos on how to reform the police, and I couldn't believe how open-minded he was. And then one night, he heard the term "all cops are bastards," ACAB. And he looked at me and he said, all cops are smarter. And I looked at him and I said, well, if that were true, you would have said all cops are brainy. And he left me. I have such bad luck in dating that if I was on a dating reality show, I would get to the end of the first round and I would look at all the contestants and I would say, this is going to be such a hard decision because I want to cut you all. And I had another joke at the end, but I can't remember it. So I'm going to stop right there. And I thank you so much for the class.
Rose, everybody, Rose. Rose, when you're about 78, or 80, your name is totally going to fit you. So hang in there. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. Hey, do it for our DJ, you guys. DJ Spotify.